What's up, guys? It's Joey from Krav Maga XD. Today's a little more of a casual day. I'm coming at you from my floor. I sit on my floor, by the way, when I do work and planning and all that stuff and journaling and calendars and blah, blah, blah. But today's going to be more of a casual day, casual Sunday, because this is what I do every single Sunday. And I want to talk quickly about kind of like my own testimonial and story and how this all came to be. And then kind of tell you what I do to also make that take it a step further. I know that's very ambiguous. Oblivious? No. Ambiguous. First, let me just show you here. We got some spectators napping. Got the kitty, got the doggy taking some sunbathing. Also, it looks like we have children, but we do not. These are all toys from the animals. Okay. And these, oh, by the way, I can't zoom in. Those books right there, Trackers and Helldivers and The Extinction Cycle, best fiction books ever. I recommend them. I read them all very quickly. Not a good thing. Kind of lost track of life for a little while while doing that. So really quick, just kind of going over what this is about. Basically, it's very simple. When I first started, or before I started training, I was a server at a restaurant called Lazy Dog Cafe. I loved it, by the way. I had a really great time, and I learned so many life skills from being a server. Actually, I think it should be a necessary requirement for people to become a server when they are doing life. Like, that should be your call, or your high school, basically. You should just screw grades, screw going to school and learning math, go be a server for a couple of years, and then you're going to learn a lot of life skills and people skills. Anyways, I started Krav Maga up, and I started training, started becoming proficient at it, started loving it, by the way. And one day, my instructor was like, hey, you know, you and your friend Kyle, you guys should think about joining our instructor program and teaching someday. And I remember that was like a big moment. I was like, whoa, you're saying I can teach this too? Like, that sounds awesome. Now, no. This doesn't mean run your own school. This just means teach a class and teach people how to do this awesome thing called Krav Maga. And so later down the line, I started teaching, becoming confident in that, started leading people and teaching them through this process of learning Krav Maga. And then little did I know, it started changing people's lives. And you start seeing case studies of people coming in shy, or they're going through hard times, and then they come in and they talk to you about how after they started training, they became better people, their lives are better, they're more confident, better things are happening for them, etc. And so what I noticed is after doing all, sorry, my cat is tempting my dog. He doesn't have teeth, though, so he can't really defend himself, and she kicks his ass. Anyways, after that training started impacting me more and creating more confidence in me, and after I started teaching classes and realizing that I was a decent leader of this system, and I was able to teach it well, and I was able to help people, it really struck me. And then one night I was contemplating the idea of not working at the restaurant anymore, because I didn't like it. I got really burned out of it. I didn't really enjoy the people there. Not that the people were bad, but you know what I mean, right? I just got super burned. And so one day I was like, well, maybe I could open my own school, but I didn't really know how. I don't know anything about business. But because of training Krav Maga and the confidence I got, what you have to understand is when you know how to destroy people, like figuratively, well, actually realistically, but not saying you need to go around destroying people, but when you know how to fight this well, and you walk into a room or a conversation, and you have this in your brain and back of your mind, like, I can destroy anybody in this room. Not in a cocky way, it's just a fact. When you're that good at fighting and people don't know how to fight, you're going to be really awesome. It gives you this weird confidence to carry yourself differently and to do things differently. And you start doing more things that you didn't think you were going to do before. And so what happened is, besides all this drama and blah, 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 basically what happened is I had this confidence to start my own company. And so I went out, I went off a limb, I met people I didn't know, I asked them for help, they helped me. I got a place, started it up, more drama, doesn't really matter. Everything that's happened has been for a good reason, and I love it. I don't regret anything. And our business started to grow. And then I started to learn about business. I'm like, oh, well, shit, this thing called business is kind of cool. Like, you do something awesome, you provide a service, you help people, and then you market it so more people see it and they come in. Therefore, you get to help more people. And then the more people you help, subsequently, you make more money, which is awesome. And you can use that money to live a fun life and to help more people, which is awesome. And so I got really into this idea because I had this confidence now from Krav that I can be a good business owner. So then I started taking courses. I got my college degree in marketing and business. I went to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery Seminar, which was a big eye-opener for me for what I can do with business. Read a ton of books, like tons of freaking books of business. Then I started helping people with business. Then I realized, well, shit, I have a skill. I can now not only teach Krav, I can actually teach people how to run their businesses better because I'm doing that right now. And so then we started another company. I got with my friend Dan, and we started a marketing agency. And now I had 2 businesses I had to grow. And then over the years, obviously lots of hard trials, like because being a business owner is not easy. We were able to do things right. What's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? We were able. Aren't you filming right now? I thought I saw you on Instagram that you're filming. Oh, interesting. It looks like you're not filming. I'm going to tell them that you're slacking. I'm waiting for a response. He's not responding, so I'm assuming he must be busy. Anyways, after doing all of that, you start to realize that things can happen if you just do them. I know it's a really simple thing, but if you actually just do it, you can actually make it work. So one of the things I do every Sunday morning, one of the things that I think has attributed to the growth of both companies, by the way, is a weekly review. And I want to show you what that was. So the weekly review is I do it every Sunday without stopping. It's basically, I'm not going to show you what I'm writing because I have some stuff in there that are plans for the future and I can't reveal them just yet because they're secrets. But every single week, I come in and I write down my vision. So I actually sit down and I put some music on and I close my eyes and I actually imagine myself 5 years from now, actually 10 years from now, and I imagine myself talking to my future self for advice. Like, hey, what do you think I should do now? Here's what's going on. Here's the problems I got. And then my own advice comes back to me and I write down my next steps. Now, all this does, and I know it's kind of weird to talk to yourself, but all this does is helps you get a little clarity of really big picture things. Because a lot of times we're stuck in our own heads. So when I think, oh, what do I do now? Oh my God, and I'm stressing out. I'll do the little things, and those things don't help me out so much. So the big things really matter. So the forgiving somebody, or doing something like this, or taking the next step for that. That is the big things, and those help a lot. The next thing is I do a return report. This is probably the most important. Oh, my flash is on. Most important part. You actually go back to last week. So I go to last week. So this is my last. Nope. That's my last week. All the stuff I did, all my to-dos and stuff. I'd go back and I'd say what worked, what did not, or sorry, what worked. This is the worked section in my physical life. So this is food, body, all that stuff. So last week, what worked for me is I worked out 5 times a week, and I ate really good lunches. Emotional. This is also like your spiritual self. So what worked? I started a new book from Richard Rohr called The Universal Christ. It's freaking awesome. That's kind of helping me with my spiritual life a little bit. Relational, what worked, and then you'd write down, I'm not going to tell you what worked, but we're going to write down all the positive things that happened last week. And financial, this is business or whatever, anything with your finances, what worked last week. And then you'd say, I made $30,000 in sales, I did all these cool things, we grew, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what didn't work? Physical, well, I didn't do any stretching. I try to stretch 3 times a week. I didn't do it all last week because I was lazy. Emotional, what didn't work in that section? What didn't work in relational? What didn't work in your financial? Maybe you didn't budget well and you went overdraft or something like I did on one of my accounts. Then you go to the commit section. This is all just last week, by the way. Okay, well, physical, I did well. I worked out 5 times a week, but I didn't stretch. So I'm going to commit next week to stretching at least 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'd write that down, commit. Emotional, I'm going to do this. Relational, I'm going to fill up the love tank a little bit. Financial, I'm going to do XYZ to get me to be better with my finances. Maybe next week, if I went overdraft, I will learn a budget. Then, from the weekly vision, you take the next section. This is really the focus of what you need to do with the next steps of your life, right? So I call it the one domino. There's a book called The One Domino, or no, it's called The One Thing. I think he talks about the domino. It's either way. It's the one thing you need to work on that's going to take care of the other things. So for example, if you're not doing too well financially, maybe instead of just not spending money, you need to actually work on budgeting, or you need to work on making more money. Maybe that one thing you worked on is actually going to make all these other problems go away rather than focusing on the singular problems. So I would pick out my one domino. So maybe that's going to be, for me next week, it's going to be starting a new ad campaign with our new branding campaign we're doing for Krav Maga XD. So that would be like one thing I gotta do next week. Here's the 4 actions that I need to take to get that done. So I'd actually schedule these and say, okay, step 1, I need to do this. Step 2, I need to do that. Step 3, I need to do this. And I'd put them all out. I'd actually write the date down, what day I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to do my 3 dates. So what do I want to do next week with myself? You have to do this stuff, man. You got to take time for yourself to do things. So with this, I usually will write down kayak on Friday. It's like $10 to rent a kayak down the street. I live next to the harbor in Newport Beach, or I'll do like a massage, or I'll do a hike, or whatever that is, a float tank session. You'd figure out the one thing you're gonna do, plan it. Then you'd go with your relationships if you have one. If you don't, maybe just relations with yourself. So this is what I call date night. I plan it out every Sunday. I would decide what we're gonna do. It's either gonna be Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. This is like, and by the way, this is really important. If you are in a relationship, date nights are critical. Not just, go out and get in your workout clothes and go get some Panda Express. I'm talking about like the date night. Like you're dressing up, you're putting on good clothes, you're shaving, you're just making yourself look freaking great, and then they're doing the same thing. You're going out to a nice restaurant. You don't need to spend all your money, but I would say don't be cheap and take them out. Make it good. This is the time where you're going to talk to each other. You're going to put your phones away. And this is the one time a week that you're going to spend together and flirt with each other and make it like a relationship and not like just a roommate partnership type of deal that's going on that I know a lot of you are doing. So date nights are important. So please do them. Next, family. If you have a family, this is, I do not have kids right now, but if I had kids, I would write down a family date, whatever you're going to do that week. I usually will pick something where I'll either call my mom on a video call, talk to my grandparents, do something with my dad. So this is like the family section. And then the last part is the why. Why is all this important? Why do I do all this? What is my final goals? Why? This why is going to help you drive to do the rest of the things. I do this every single Sunday, and this is what helps me grow both companies. Now, after that's done, this is the part that's open all week long on my desk. I would just list down all the things I need to do. First, I'd write down all of these things, the 4 actions, all the dates would be written down and what my commitments are. I'd write them all down first. Then I'd fill in the rest just with random things that I keep forgetting to do, that I need to do, that I keep putting on the back burner, or just random things that come up, because unfortunately life has a lot of shit involved. I'd put the priority down, what the project is. So this would be like the company, XD, or algorithm, or personal life, or whatever, what it is, when it's due, how much time it's going to take me. And if I can delegate it, I'll write down initials to someone I can delegate to, because that is very important. Then, once that's all brain dumped out and scattered out, not in any order or anything, I will take it and I'll plan it out on a specific day. So I'd put that on Monday, I'd put this one on Tuesday, I'd put this one on Wednesday, and I'd start to spread them out to where I feel like it's more of a doable chunk. That helps me out a lot. Just writing the day here, whatever the date is, so that way there's no weird calendar system going on. And then I'd write down on that day what I'm grateful for, and then I'd go to work to nail all of these things. Okay, that's it. I actually made this myself. So after you're done, the next week will come. You'll do another review of what worked last week, what didn't work, what you're going to commit to, all the fun stuff. Then every 4 weeks, you go back in and you put down your facts of where your life is in all 4 categories, what your visions are, what your why is, all your goals. You rewrite them so you remember what they are. You'll see I've done that here, all my facts and visions and my Q goals. This is just the planner. But that's it, guys. It's simple, super simple. You can write this out on your own. You don't need this planner. I mean, I made it myself, so you can't even buy it. But that right there, honestly, that was my game changer. Because instead of just going around in life and just kind of hoping that things are going to work out and you just kind of take things as they come, and actually planning it, measuring it, and doing your focus, that's the big thing. Focusing on that one thing that week that's going to take that next step to your goal. Imagine doing that every week for 52 weeks a year. You just did 52 major dominoes to get to your goals. I mean, you have to succeed. Even if you give up and you start back up at focusing, you're going to succeed. You're not going to succeed if you don't have any plans, any direction, any focus, and you just kind of hope. I hope this happens. That's just the way it is. That's why also, I mean, when I worked at the restaurant, that was 8 years ago, I went back and there's still people that work there with me and they're not doing this stuff. That's why they're still there. I'm not saying the restaurant's bad. They're awesome people, but you see what I'm saying. There's a difference between producing and just going on with life. And I like to produce and build things for people. I like to create those communities and kind of provide that value. Now, that's just something that all came to me through Krav Maga. So I know it's kind of a very off and random video today, but it's Sunday. I thought it's Random Sunday, something brand new. It's annual. We're going to do that every year on March 17th. That the date? I think it is. All right, guys, I'm going to take off today. If you want to try the class, go to kravclass.com. So if you go to Krav, you can actually see this dog there because he is the mascot dog of Krav. You will not see this cat. No one sees this cat. Actually, this is a very rare sighting. Most people don't believe I have a cat when they come over because she doesn't come out. So, okay. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.